Hey everybody, this is Louise. Um, Today I want to read something that I wrote like a little while ago, and it's funny because I write things all the time. Um, I think when I write them, it's sometimes it's for right then, but then when I look back, it's like I'm reading it at the perfect time in my life to know that this is probably a moment that I need to share with. Um, Also, I want to talk about the fact that someday in the future, I know that the fact that I put a face to my name and that I put myself out there, that eventually um, my whole life will be out on Front Street. And I don't care that it is because I'm writing a book about it. And if I stay in my truth, I know that no matter what, it'll work itself out. I am a human who has made a lot of mistakes in life, and I know that some of those roads were self-will run riot. Um, I don't ever want to hide anything because that's not being honest or truthful. That's why I also made this YouTube video, and that's why I talk. And this is about my journey and expressing things inside myself that a lot of people don't like to talk about because they just don't know how. And I'm willing to step out and use myself as the example. And I'm completely fine with that. Um, because all I want to do is help people. And the only way I'm going to ever help anyone is with the life experiences that I had. Like I said, my journey with myself is about finding happiness, and it's about love. And it's about the ultimate self-love of unconditional love. And having unconditional love means to have love like God. And if I was to have love like God, that would mean that I have to accept situations in my life that have been challenges and opportunities with grace and dignity, and also to understand that sometimes bad things happen to people and we don't understand until later in life, and that's okay. That's okay, you know. Um, I know that the more that I look outside myself to search for something, the more I realize that I need to look inside myself to search for it first so that it will come outwards to me. Um, and that's the important thing. I do a tarot reading or a spiritual reading at the end because I think that it helps people also out there if they just are looking for something a little more than listening to someone talk about their whatever, you know. Um, this channel will be about all different kinds of topics, and eventually I'd like to go live so that I could be able to express it. I'm hoping that eventually that I can get my Venmo and my PayPal to be hooked up to this so that there's links for people if they ever want to donate, and that people subscribe, and that it doesn't actually, to me, if whether or not, you know, this gets out there to other people, it's helping me to be truthful and to be bare honest with people, and that's okay, you know. You may not find something today, but there may be something tomorrow that might help you. And like I said, you know, I think the reason why I brought up the fact that I write stuff all the time, and there's stuff that I wrote like about 8-10 years ago that today is applying to my life. So maybe the video that you see, whether this is like 5 years from now or whatever, may apply to your life at that moment. And that's why I am doing this. Something I want to read to you that I had wrote a little while ago, and I just picked it up and turned to the page, and this is what I want to talk about, is that this is what I wrote. It says, I just realized if I'm not a priority, then others will not make it a priority to listen to me. If I am not important enough to myself to take care of, then why would anyone else feel the need to make me a priority to see that I need help too? If I don't defend myself like I do for others, then why would anyone find it necessary to defend me? If I just give everything away all the time, then what is left? Why is there so many difficult trials to face to have me keep coming back to the same question over and over? I have so much to give, but there can't be any worth to it if it is empty and I give nothing to myself. Why do I have to bear the burden of this over and over when love is supposed to be the ultimate for all? Why hide I love that I love and sacrifice so much? Thank you for this lesson. Now I want to gain the importance of this. I am important. My love is growing. I have worth and value. I will drink my love and pour it out in honesty. So what I'm talking about here to myself is that if I don't make myself a priority in my life and I don't love myself the way that I expect everybody else to, the hardest thing is that I'm going to become a dead battery again and keep creating the same cycles in my life until I finally open up and say, you know what, enough is enough. And this year has been one of those years of enough is enough for me, and that I want to move forward in a positive way that is amazing. I don't know what this year has in store for me, but what a better way than to end this month with releasing all that shit so that I can start new with the new year, right? Those New Year's resolutions. Well, my New Year's resolution is to make sure that I have all of this out so that I can start fresh and see what life has to offer for me, because I really, really have never had an opportunity like I have now to really find myself, which is the hardest thing to fucking do. Because I have been my own worst enemy about keeping myself down and feeling like a dead battery. Because I know I have a lot to offer and I keep offering it to everybody else, but I always forget about myself and offering things to myself so that I can feel good. And the gift that I have now is that when everything is fucking taken away from you, the only thing you have is yourself to look at. And that I'm the only one who can pick myself up and keep moving forward. But it's about the fact of releasing the stuff and looking at the fact that it's okay to make mistakes. And I have always been a person who likes to be in control and thinking that I can never make a mistake. Because I did make a mistake. I made several mistakes earlier this year in May and June. And some of them I can't ever take back. And I paid the ultimate price for it. But in a sense, was it really the ultimate price when all I was asking for is to be able to know that my life has meaning and that I am meant to do so much more in life. And to learn my value, you know. Something I also wrote a long time ago is the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new lands, but in seeing it with new eyes. And that's awesome. The last thing I want to read, it was a poem that I had wrote a while ago too, and then I will do a reading for everybody. Okay. I don't have a title for this one, but I really enjoyed the fact that I wrote this. It says, if pen to paper could describe all that I feel and think, then the pages would be filled with blurry lines from where the ink has left a trail. And there would be little tiny flakes of paper ash in the air. I think of a time when I was a completely different person than I am today. There was joy, love, strength, and all that I was. Now I feel as though all that I am has been somehow hardened, unbending, and rough. To know it took me so long to become all that I wanted to be, seeing it slowly slip away is the hardest thing to see. And that just reminds me that I have, no matter what, we are still creating our own stories in our lives. And it gives me hope to remember that I can rip pages out, or I can leave them there as marks, to remember that I survived so much shit. I have been through a lot. Everybody has been through a lot. I am no more unique than any other person out there. It's just my story is different than other people's, but we all have the same kind of issues. You know, it's my experiences, your experiences. We all have experiences. And that's completely what makes us who we are. And it's okay. I was listening to another person that I subscribe to. His name's Rich Loop. He's an awesome, awesome guy. He is a total inspiration of what he has manifested in his life to make happen, you know, and he put in the work to do it. And to me, that reminds me that if I want things to happen, I need to put the work in order to reap the rewards. There's no instant, there's no easy way and no shortcuts in order to get the real work done. And so I am doing the work that I need to, like purging everything out and doing the work to release it and doing all this work because maybe someday it may help somebody else in a situation that they need help in, you know? And we are all on our own life journeys and our own self-discoveries and, you know, different things like that. I'm still looking for, in my life, the ultimate teacher to teach me how to really harness in all the special abilities that I have and gifts so that I can be able to go out there in the real world to completely help people in stuff like that. And I know that divine timing will be how it works, you know, and I'm willing to do all the work to do that. And I hope this reaches somebody out there that can point me in the right direction for that. You know, I don't want this channel to always be about heavy stuff. You know, I just want it to be about real stuff. And sometimes real stuff is painful. And it sucks. It really sucks. Finding your self-worth sucks. But it's okay because at the end, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes we go through things in a way that we ask out, why is this happening to me? Why have I been forsaken? Why, you know? And sometimes those are the best gifts that we could ever get, because in the end, when we see the bigger picture, because we're so small and we only see just this part because this is what we're living in, and we look back and we realize that it's because of that moment that happened, that you chose to finally walk a different path, is why you have everything you have now. And we can get lost in the sauce or stuck in the shit. We can have a bucket of fuck it's whatever you want to call it. And you can keep doing the same things over and over, but I can tell you that that's called insanity. And you're expecting a different result. But when you get down to the shit and enough is enough, that's when the real work begins. And it's okay. I'm here. I've learned so much in a small amount of time about many different things that I have gotten enlightened to, that can help other people. And you know, the tarot cards and the runes are just a tool, like I said. I like runes because they've been around a lot longer, and it speaks from my higher being down to my very soul. When I open my eyes. When I first got runes, I was in my early 30s, and I would pull them out and I try to read them, and I'm just like, this doesn't, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. And I've carried them around for my whole, you know, like since then. And it wasn't until I finally started doing some more spiritual work that I started realizing, oh my God, this is talking from a higher level to my core. Because we always want things to run in the way that we expect them to, and not the way that the divine is working it. And the more that we are stuck in being blind, in a sense, to that, the harder it is for everything to come into play for us. You know, like I said before, we can have anything and everything in our lives. We can manifest anything we want. We just got to get out of our fucking way to do it. And an attitude of gratitude and acceptance. And realizing we're powerless sometimes when the ultimate moments come down to it. It's about how are we going to receive those and have the acceptance for it. And that's the part that's the gift. So let me draw you a rune for today. Just for everybody, so that they have some insight and a higher being today. Let's see what we got. Ooh, we got Isa. Oh, that damn Isa.